who's actually going to get the most out of a high-end automatic coffee machine like the Jura E8, and who might be better off walking away? If you're trying to decide whether this sleek piano black beast belongs on your countertop or ends up a costly kitchen ornament, you're not alone. A lot of people hover at the maybe stage because they've seen the glossy ads, heard the buzz about barista-grade espresso at the touch of a button, but also know there's a learning curve, regular upkeep, and a price tag that makes you pause. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's dig into the everyday reality of owning one, weigh the practical pros and cons, and see if the value line up for a typical coffee-loving household. First off, picture your typical weekday morning. You're rushing to get the kids dressed, the emails are already pinging, and you need a solid caffeine hit before you even open your laptop. With the Jura E8 you can set your preferred coffee profile strength, volume, temperature, and the machine does the rest. The built-in grinder crushes fresh beans, the water is heated to the right temperature, and in under a minute you have a consistent shot. That speed and repeatability is the strongest point for anyone whose routine demands reliability over ceremony. If you're the type who enjoys a quick espresso before a meeting, you'll probably appreciate that you never have to time a brew manually or worry about tamping pressure. The machine also remembers multiple user profiles, so a partner who prefers a milder Americano can have that ready with a single tap. Now, flip the scenario to a lazy Sunday brunch. You want to impress guests with a latte art masterpiece and maybe a couple of cappuccinos. The Jura E8 includes a built-in milk frother that can produce microfoam suitable for latte art, but it's not a handheld wand you can tweak on the fly. The frothing cycle is automated, so you press cappuccino and the system steams and froths the milk for you. For casual latte drinkers, that's more than enough, you'll get a smooth, velvety texture without mastering the technique. However, if you're a latte art enthusiast who likes to control the milk temperature, steam pressure, and pour speed, you'll feel a bit boxed in. The machine's frother does a good job, but it isn't as versatile as a dedicated steam wand on a prosumer espresso rig. One of the hidden trade-offs with the Jura E8 is how it handles maintenance. The machine runs an automatic cleaning program that runs every few weeks, and it also has a descaling cycle for hard water areas. Those cycles can take up to half an hour, during which the machine is essentially offline. If you're in a household where coffee is a constant throughout the day, you'll need to plan those maintenance windows. Skipping them leads to slower brewing and eventually off flavors, which is something I've seen happen with owners who treat the cleaning alerts as optional. The good news is the cleaning tablets and descaling solution are sold as Jura accessories, so you won't have to hunt for third-party supplies, but they do add a recurring cost you should factor into the total ownership budget. Space is another practical consideration. The Jura E8 sits at about 14 inches wide, 15 inches deep, and roughly 15 inches tall. It's a solid footprint for a kitchen island, but it can be a tight squeeze in smaller apartments where counter space is premium. The water tank holds about 1.9 liters, which translates to roughly 30 cups of coffee before you need to refill. That's plenty for a family of 4, but if you entertain a larger crowd or run a small office from home, you might find yourself topping it off more often than you'd like. The bean hopper, on the other hand, holds around 280 grams of beans, which is enough for about 2,025 espresso shots before you need to restock. For heavy users, that means a quick bean refill every couple of days. Let's talk price. The Jura E8 is positioned in the premium segment, usually hovering near the $1,500 mark. For many, that price feels steep, especially when you compare it to a decent manual espresso machine that costs half as much. The justification, according to Jura, is the combination of a high-quality burr grinder, a proprietary brewing system, and the convenience of one-touch operation. If you value that convenience and you're willing to pay for the brand's reputation for durability, the machine can make sense. On the flip side, if you're comfortable grinding beans manually and pulling shots with a lever, you're probably overpaying for features you'll never use. Who should definitely consider buying the Jura E8? First, busy professionals who crave consistent espresso without a steep learning curve. Second, households with multiple coffee drinkers who each have distinct preferences thanks to the multi-profile memory. You can switch from a strong ristretto to a mild drip coffee in seconds. Third, anyone who appreciates the aesthetic of a sleek, black appliance that blends into modern kitchen decor. The piano black finish is surprisingly resistant to fingerprints and looks premium even after months.